Hello and welcome back. This is just a quick little update for my scene. Um, since the last post, I thought it might be quite valuable to see what progression has gone on. I think the last post was my fog post where I entered some fog creation when I entered a fog creation post. Um, but basically, a lot has changed since then. I can't remember if the fog that I had produced was using the physical sky, but I've now changed that around and using the physical sky to create my fog, so it's enabled down here. The start height and the end height are basically the polar opposites of each other, and that is above this zero plane here. So it's 1200 centimeters above and below. Density at 7% and the max distance of 10,000. So this kind of like fog density produces quite a nice effect. If I just show you a quick little picture, maybe. So there we go. You can quite clearly see. So you've got the blackness up here, and you've got like a kind of smoky grey effect here, and that's the fog coming through there. So that gives quite a nice effect. In addition to that picture you just saw, you can see that I've added a, wherever it is, there you go, there it is, I've added a sun. Initially, whenever I integrate both of these assets, I didn't think there was enough in the scene to make it look good. However, I wasn't really looking at the scene with the correct framing in mind. I wasn't looking at it through the certain shots, through 1 to 7 here, and what I was seeing was a lot of empty space around the two assets, and I was kind of panicking a bit. However, as you can see from these two little screen grabs, when the correct framing is used, it actually does look quite nice. So they're just some of the slight changes, as well as like slight alignment changes as well. The ring's on a bit of an angle now. The main changes that have been made, or the main things that have been done, is the whole camera movement. So I've basically gone through setting up all the cameras for all the different shots, and some arranging for different frame lengths. However, if I just go back to there, it looks a bit manic, but all the cameras have some sort of movement. Some of them are very slight and some of them are more emphasized, but each camera has a specific job. So I'm just going to shot 1 for the camera. There we go, got slight movement there. And like I said, each camera has some movement, and the majority of this was done by following the storyboard, and I followed this fairly rigidly, and I feel when it renders out it should be quite nice. I've been doing like little test checks to see what the framing looks like before and after at the very beginning and end, so I've just been rendering out to see what the start and finish is like, and for the majority they look pretty good. The one thing that's going to be quite complex is, so if you look on the storyboard here, I note that there's a door opening on the cube and then a particle going into it. I've also sorted that out as well, so if I just turn all these off, it's going to be a bit of a pain, but you can see here that there's a particle, and this is the sphere. This is just a standalone object, not related to X particles at all. But I've keyframed it, so then when it gets 30 seconds, it grows in size. I'll check this material on it. There we go. That's better. So you can just see by the time it hits frame 60, it's at full size, and then by frame 150, it's in the center of the cube. So yeah, that's pretty much that. I still need to give that sphere a material, and I still also need to create a bool object to whenever the sphere goes into the face here, the ball object will be going through it as well and illuminating. So ball object is pretty much like a cookie cutter, and it'll just cut a hole or a shape into the face. And I just plan on timing that well with the path of the sphere. So that's pretty much the entire update. I've been organising stuff with Knowles to try and keep it nice and clean. So far, lighting hasn't been an issue in getting the shots because I wanted some sort of realism, and by doing a multi-pass render, which I feel I'm going to have to now because I want to illuminate the spheres, the X particles ring, differently to the sun and then to the cube. I feel that doing a multi-pass would allow this more easily. So doing a multi-pass will be a bit more forgiving, especially if this is a bit darker. I can alter it with curves and then it'll be fine. So yeah, that's going to do it for this post. The next stage now is to sort out the sphere, give that a material, sort out the ball, and then it's time to render. So thanks very much and stay tuned.